Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video. Finn observed that it sounded like Carter was flinging his weight around when Steffy caught him, and Hope in a precarious situation. Carter was an excellent COO, but Steffy retorted that something didn't feel quite right. She gave Carter's recent fixation on turning the business into something it was never supposed to be as an example. Steffy went on to say that it was strange that Carter had backed HFTF now that it was performing poorly. Being amiable and encouraging is one thing, but being so strongly in favor of Hope? I'm not sure. I believe that Hope has somehow gotten into this head, Steffy remarked. Steffy was advised by Finn to keep in mind that, in the end, it didn't matter what Ivy or Hope did to offend her. Finn claimed that it took him much too long to comprehend Steffy's worries around Hope, but that he finally does. Finn believed that Hope was ashamed of her actions, and that Steffy no longer needed to be concerned about her. After Steffy departed for work, Finn discovered she had left her iPad behind. Hope expressed her admiration for Carter in the designer's office. Carter claimed that Hope needed to move on from Steffy's attacks, and that he was sick of it. Both of them had heard that Ridge was in favor of reviving the jewelry line, and they were happy that Steffy would have a new opponent. Admire Days B&B General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right away, click here. Carter observed that Brooke's bedroom's updated designs were displayed on a rack in the office. Hope cautioned Carter as he examined the objects. Hope crooned, "You know what happens when you see lingerie? You imagine me in it." He might be able to persuade her to do a modeling job, she hinted. Brooke entered after Hope and Carter had just started kissing. If they wanted to keep their connection a secret, Brooke advised them to use greater caution. Hope warned her mother, "You should be aware that Steffy threatened me, and hope for the future once more." Hope reiterated how Steffy claimed to have saved HFTF, and how she had threatened to cut off contact with Hope if she went too far with Finn once more. Brooke implied that Hope was interested in Carter when he remarked, "I guess she doesn't have to worry about that now." "No, she doesn't," Hope smiled in response. Carter looked at his phone, but there was nothing there. Carter remarked, "I thought I would have heard from Ridge today." He inquired as to if Ridge had expressed any feelings to Brooke on the proposal. Ridge and Brooke had not discussed work, according to Brooke. Carter also mentioned that he hadn't heard from Eric, and believed that he was being abandoned. Hope and Carter expressed their mutual belief in one another. Carter promised to see whether Ridge shared Hope's faith in him and his plan. When Hope was by herself, she told her mother how thrilled she was about Carter's proposal, and how she believed it would benefit the business. As her mother observed her with interest and worry, Hope continued to talk about how much she believed in Carter. Hope thought Carter could persuade everyone to support him, but Brooke cautiously warned her not to get her hopes up. Hope persisted in telling Brooke that taking the chance was the best course of action for the business. Hope was confident Ridge would accept the idea. Yes, without a doubt, Hope emphasized. When Ridge saw Taylor in the CEO's office, she informed him that she would see Steffy, but would not stay to cause trouble. "When she smiles at him, it makes him more productive," Ridge added, urging Taylor to stay. Taylor expressed gratitude to him for all of his calls and texts. Taylor told him, "It may sound silly, but it lifted my spirits. It wasn't meant to be absurd." Ridge remarked, "I wanted you to know you're not alone." Taylor informed Ridge that she had visited Grace Buckingham the previous day, and that the physician was happy with her development. "I liked the numbers, but my heart wasn't 100%, Taylor said. Grace was overjoyed to learn about their collaboration with Chandra, Taylor continued. Ridge informed Taylor how much he and everyone loved her, and acknowledged that it was an experience he would never forget. Taylor said to Ridge, "I always assumed the brain controlled the body, but the heart does too." Although they acknowledged that Taylor was still in danger, they also thought her future was bright. At that moment, Carter entered. He was sorry to interrupt, but he wanted to talk to Ridge about his suggestion. Ridge became apprehensive, but Carter persisted with his proposition for Taylor's benefit, updating her on his plan to grow Forrester by introducing premium goods and brands. Carter said to Taylor, Help me persuade this man to make the best choice of his career. Carter restated his main themes once more. I've done the investigation. We can do this. Carter exclaimed to Ridge. Just let me know when you're ready. Ridge informed Carter that Steffy, Eric, and Brooke had all contributed to the decision. At the very least, Carter pushed Ridge to acknowledge that the business needed to expand. Ridge claimed that once he had revived the jewelry line, it just did. They moved one step forward and 2 steps back, Carter grumbled. Carter clarified that while he believed Steffy and her constant threats to cancel HFTF were a problem, the jewelry line should help other lines. Carter claimed he didn't want one of Forrester's most important lines to be impacted by Steffy's affections for Hope. Ridge remarked, I understand what you're saying. Are you also listening to me on expansion? Carter inquired. As his friend, Ridge was supposed to support Carter by providing Eric, Steffy, and Brooke. Carter's plea caught Ridge off guard, so he stated forcefully, as your friend, I'll tell you we'll make a decision very soon. Hope sat at the desk in the designer's office by herself, remembering the time she had spent looking at lingerie with Carter. She thought back to the day she had mentioned to Carter that she would do a modeling session for him before having an epiphany. Glancing through the new assortment, she picked one up and sprinted behind the changing screen. Finn entered with Steffy's tablet and looked at the desk to compose a note as Hope was putting on the lingerie. Hope shouted, lock the door, as she heard someone enter. I have been anticipating your arrival. Finn questioned Hope what she was doing as he saw her emerge from around the screen wearing lingerie. Hope stumbled and fell into Finn after tripping over a roll of cloth on the floor, startled that it was Finn and not Carter. When Steffy entered, she noticed Hope in lingerie on top of Finn, who was reclining back on the desk. I hope. Get away from my spouse now. Steffy roared. This is the last review of Wednesday, October 30th, 2024's episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful. Hope's fall, Finn's mess, Taylor's awkward intel, and Carter dismissed. Hope Logan collides with John Finnegan in today's episode. Taylor Hayes is caught up in an unpleasant conversation between Carter Walton and Ridge Forrester. Additionally, when Carter requests an update on the luxury brand pitch, Ridge appears to brush him off. Taylor Hayes is at Forrester Creations, according to her medical update B&B recap for Wednesday, October 30th. Ridge is instructed by Taylor to let Steffy Forrester Finnegan know that she will return later. Taylor is not interested in getting in the way. Ridge wants her to stay since her smile brightens his entire day. After calming down and saying, okay, Taylor discusses how Ridge has helped her stay positive during the entire medical process. Taylor is not alone in this, according to Ridge. Carter is an inspiration to Hope. Hope enumerates the causes. Steffy's verbal assault is brought up by Carter. Steffy needs to move on, according to Carter. Carter talks about Ivy Forrester being blocked by Steffy. Carter starts looking through gowns on a rack and shifts the conversation to new styles. Hope stands up and begins teasing Carter. Brooke Logan enters as the two are caressing one another. Brooke advises them to exercise greater caution if they wish to conceal the romance. Hope informs Brooke that Steffy has once more threatened her line. The shin bond. At home, Finn and Steffy are making out. Finn needs to leave for his job. Hope is the reason Steffy dreads going to work. While Ridge answers a business call, Taylor takes a drink of coffee. It sounds urgent. Taylor informs Ridge about her most recent meeting with Grace Buckingham after he hangs up. Although Taylor's heart hasn't fully recovered yet, Grace is pleased with the numbers thus far. Taylor should carry on working with the chakra healer, according to Grace. Ridge claims he will always remember the encounter. They won't forget it, Taylor says with a smile. Steffy informs Finn that in addition to Hope, she also has to deal with Ivy. Ridge is adamant that Steffy not try her hand at the jewelry brand once more. In contrast to Hope, Steffy states that Ivy is a Forrester and does belong here. Finn implies that there must be a way to get along, but he is not defending Hope or her line. Steffy refers to Finn as Carter. Steffy begins to complain about Carter. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan's finding. According to the recap of The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope informs Brooke that Steffy is pursuing Finn. What transpired with Steffy is explained by Hope. Hope informs Brooke that Steffy is still unaware of her romance at work. By now, Carter hoped to have heard from Ridge. Brooke is questioned by Carter. Nothing has reached her ears. Carter believes he is being abandoned. It's a huge decision according to Brooke. Hope is ecstatic with her faith in Carter. After putting on his clothes, Finn brings up Carter once more. Steffy claims that something seems strange and off. Steffy believes that Carter is being influenced by Hope. Steffy is reminded by Finn that Hope and Carter are friends. This, in Steffy's opinion, transcends friendship. Brooke and Hope are currently alone. Carter's huge pitch doesn't appear to appeal to Brooke. However, Hope believes it's wonderful to witness Carter's enthusiasm for it. Hope genuinely believes in Carter's plan, and Brooke can tell. According to Hope, it would be fantastic for everyone, not just herself. Taylor discusses with Ridge how her perspective on the mind-body link has evolved. Taylor believes she has a great future. Ridge concurs. Carter cuts in. Carter is shocked that Ridge hasn't gotten back to him yet. Ridge is perplexed. Did he forget a meeting? Carter brings up their recent meeting. The one in which he made his luxury pitch? Taylor notices that Ridge appears uneasy. October 30th, 2024, Wednesday. Steffy and Finn rise and prepare to bid farewell. In an attempt to be helpful, Finn alerts Steffy to her stress levels. Steffy informs Finn that Hope is aware that she will lose her line if she tries anything with him again. Finn believes Steffy no longer needs to worry about Hope's behavior, because she is sufficiently ashamed of it. Finn has to check some texts before Steffy departs for work. Finn discovers that Steffy left her tablet behind after she leaves. Steffy has left already. Hope and Brooke are still arguing over Carter's proposal. Hope is cautioned by Brooke not to become upset if Carter doesn't win the pitch. Hope hopes Ridge makes the right choice and believes it should be a simple yes. Taylor volunteers to go. Carter tries to win Taylor over to the concept and tells her to stay. Luxury brands surprise Taylor. Carter is still attempting to promote his concept. Ridge is asked to believe in Carter. Ridge advises him to exercise patience since Steffy and Eric must both sign off. Carter keeps pressing, but Ridge assures him he will hear back shortly. That is not to Carter's taste. Carter feels ignored, but he remains silent. Hope sees Carter again. Hope approaches the clothes rack after having an epiphany. Hope selects and dons a piece of black underwear. After entering, Finn places Steffy's tablet on the desk. Hope comes out believing it to be Carter. Finn erupts in a panic upon seeing Hope, exclaiming, "Really, Hope?" Hope stumbles at that point and pushes Finn on the desk after falling on top of him. Oh my! And all of a sudden, Hope is lying on top of a panicked Finn when Steffy enters. "I hope you get off my husband right now," Steffy says. The rising tensions between Steffy and Carter. Steffy's initial suspicions were around Carter's growing influence and how he seemed more invested in Hope for the future, HFTF, than ever before. HFTF, a line once thriving, had been struggling lately, and Steffy found it odd that Carter, Forrester's COO, had suddenly taken a vested interest in its survival. Steffy questioned Carter's motives, wondering aloud to Finn about Carter's true intentions. Finn, ever the voice of reason, advised Steffy to focus on the bigger picture. However, Steffy's intuition told her something was wrong, and she wasn't about to ignore it. "It's one thing to be friendly and supportive," Steffy told Finn, "but to be so vehemently pro-Hope? I don't know. I think somehow in some way, Hope's gotten into his head." Hope and Carter's hidden relationship. Meanwhile, in the designer's office, Hope expressed her gratitude to Carter for his relentless support. She admitted she was in awe of his dedication and shared her frustration over Steffy's attitude toward her. Hope and Carter confided in one another about their mutual struggles with Steffy's dominance in the company. As they continued to talk, their chemistry intensified. Brooke, Hope's mother, even caught them in a moment of vulnerability and reminded them to be discreet if they wanted their alliance to stay under wraps. Brooke recognized that Hope's attention seemed to be shifting from Liam, her longtime love, to the ambitious COO standing in front of her. Finn's loyalty to Steffy, and his involvement with Hope. As Finn watched Steffy navigate her professional battles, he began to see Steffy's concerns about Hope in a new light. For years, Hope had been a thorn in Steffy's side, often creating tension and rivalry. Finn, always supportive, assured Steffy that Hope was no longer a threat to her. But Finn soon found himself in the middle of the very thing he thought he had left behind. A scandal that threatened his marriage and his loyalty to Steffy. After Steffy left for work, Finn noticed she had left her tablet behind and decided to bring it to her at Forrester. But when he walked into the designer's office to leave a note, he was shocked to find Hope in lingerie, expecting someone else. The compromising position Steffy walks in. Hope, assuming it was Carter entering, called out from behind a screen, "Lock the door. I've been waiting for you." She stepped out in a silk set from the new lingerie line, only to see Finn staring at her in shock. In her surprise, Hope lost her balance, falling onto Finn. At that exact moment, Steffy arrived, and her face turned pale with fury as she saw Hope draped over her husband. "Hope, you get off my husband right now." Steffy's voice reverberated through the room, leaving Finn and Hope in utter silence. Fallout for Hope, Finn and Carter. The aftermath of Steffy's discovery sent shockwaves through Forrester Creations. News of Hope's involvement with Finn, coupled with her alliance with Carter, left Steffy questioning everything she thought she knew. Hope tried to explain, but Steffy was beyond forgiving, and she made it clear to Carter that his support of HFTF had come at the expense of the family business's integrity. Ridge, who had been skeptical of Carter's expansion plans, questioned whether Carter's judgment had been compromised. Hope's mother, Brooke, found herself torn between supporting her daughter and maintaining her standing at Forrester. She knew Steffy wouldn't hesitate to use the scandal against Hope, threatening HFTF's future. Brooke urged Hope to consider the consequences, warning her that her choices could cost her more than just her line. Carter's proposal in jeopardy. In the aftermath, Carter's ambitious proposal to expand Forrester's luxury offerings took a hit. Steffy argued that his loyalty to Hope had tainted his decisions, and she brought up his overreach as COO. Carter, disheartened, tried to explain that his intentions had always been for the company's best interest. But Steffy wasn't convinced, citing his blind support of HFTF despite its performance issues as evidence of his compromised loyalty. Ridge and Eric stepped in to mediate, recognizing that Carter's skills and passion were essential to Forrester Creations, but agreeing that his priorities needed realignment. As Steffy called for a full review of HFTF's future, Carter knew his career could be on the line if he couldn't prove his intentions were pure. Hope's new ally or rival. After their confrontation, Hope found herself at a crossroads. Her relationship with Carter, once her greatest asset, now appeared to be a liability. Brooke, always protective, warned her daughter that Steffy would not let this go without a fight. Hope and Carter shared a vulnerable moment, realizing the fallout of their connection could cost them everything they had worked for. But in a twist, Ivy Forrester, sensing an opportunity, approached Hope with a proposition. As Steffy's cousin, Ivy had her own ambitions, and offered Hope a chance to salvage her line if she aligned with Ivy's vision. Together, they could challenge Steffy's control at Forrester. However, Hope wasn't sure if Ivy was a friend or an enemy in disguise. Steffy's revenge and Forrester's power shift. Steffy was not about to let Hope or Carter off the hook. Determined to protect her family's legacy, she proposed a restructuring that would limit HFTF's funding and potentially sideline Carter from major decision-making roles. Ridge and Eric, sympathetic to Steffy's position, weighed the restructuring plan, which could shift power within Forrester Creations for good. In today's thrilling recap of The Bold and the Beautiful, fans were treated to an episode packed with drama, secrets, and intense confrontations. With Hope Logan accidentally landing herself in a compromising position with Finn, Taylor Hayes finds herself caught in awkward territory between Ridge and Carter. And Ridge seemingly dismisses Carter's ambitious pitch. Things are getting more heated at Forrester Creations. Here's a complete breakdown of the intense action from October 30, 2024. In our ultimate recap. Taylor Hayes medical update. It was a bittersweet morning as Taylor Hayes dropped by Forrester Creations, planning to visit Steffy, but she couldn't help but linger. Ridge, ever the gentleman, urged her to stay, noting that her presence brightened his day. The connection between them was as tender as ever, and Taylor expressed her appreciation for Ridge's unwavering support throughout her health crisis. Ridge assured her she wasn't alone and emphasized how much she meant to him. Taylor's health is still under monitoring, but she's optimistic. She updated Ridge on her latest visit with Dr. Grace Buckingham, who had cautiously approved of Taylor's progress. With continued work with a chakra healer, Taylor feels a renewed sense of hope. As she shared her journey with Ridge, there was a tender moment when Taylor admitted the journey had changed her perception of the mind-body connection. Ridge, moved by her courage, couldn't agree more. But just as the mood softened, Carter Walton made an unexpected entrance. Hope Logan's surprising admiration for Carter Walton. In the designer's office, Hope and Carter shared a quiet moment as Hope praised Carter for his hard work and dedication. She couldn't hide her admiration, gushing about the countless ways he supported her in Hope for the future, HFTF. Carter brought up Steffi's latest verbal sparring match, accusing her of pushing him around too much. Hope, quick to defend him, suggested that Steffi should ease up. But Carter had more on his mind than Steffi's constant scrutiny. He turned to the newest collection and started flipping through the racks, noting the elegant designs for Brooke's bedroom line. With a spark in her eye, Hope teased Carter about how he might react to seeing her in lingerie. As they flirted, an unexpected interruption from Brooke Logan reminded them to be cautious. Brooke warned the pair that if they wanted to keep things discreet, they needed to be more careful. Hope confided in her mother about Steffi's recent threat to end HFTF if Hope overstepped her boundaries with Finn. However, Hope assured her mom that her interest was solely in Carter. Brooke, watching her daughter with concern, sensed Hope's increasing attachment to Carter. Finn and Steffi's bond deepens. At home, Steffi and Finn shared a tender moment before Finn prepared to leave for work. Sensing her husband's concern, Steffi opened up about her frustration with Hope, noting that her relationship with Hope had grown strained. Finn, trying to reassure her, encouraged Steffi to let go of her worries. But the brewing tension between her, Hope, and Ivy Forrester, who had recently joined the company's jewelry line, weighed heavily on Steffi's mind. Before leaving, Steffi began venting to Finn about Carter, confessing that his sudden obsession with HFTF felt off. Although Finn attempted to play the mediator, suggesting Carter and Hope were just friends, Steffi couldn't shake her suspicions that Hope had gotten into Carter's head. Brooke Logan's discovery and Shin's hidden drama. Back at Forrester Creations, Brooke and Hope debated Carter's ambitious luxury brand pitch. Brooke warned her daughter about getting too excited, worried that the board might not approve the pitch. But Hope, confident in Carter's vision, dismissed Brooke's concerns. She was certain Ridge would recognize Carter's passion and make the smart choice to expand Forrester. Meanwhile, Taylor was wrapping up her chat with Ridge when Carter arrived. Carter, frustrated over Ridge's lack of response, tried to involve Taylor, explaining his bold vision for Forrester Creations. Taylor, initially surprised by the concept, became captivated as Carter elaborated. But Ridge, visibly uncomfortable, urged Carter to be patient, a reaction Carter took as a dismissal. Disheartened, Carter walked away, feeling as though his efforts had gone unrecognized. Hope's flirtation turns to chaos. Hope, recalling her earlier moment with Carter, decided to indulge in a bit of fun. She slipped into a piece of black lingerie from the new collection, planning to surprise him. Unbeknownst to her, Finn had just arrived, bringing in Steffi's forgotten tablet. Mistaking Finn's arrival for Carter's, Hope called out, "Lock the door. I've been waiting for you." But when Finn spotted Hope in the provocative attire, his shock was palpable. Before either could react, Hope stumbled over a roll of fabric, toppling over Finn onto the desk. And then, just in time for the fireworks, Steffi walked in. Eyes blazing with fury, Steffi demanded, "Hope, get off my husband right now." What's next for Hope, Finn, Steffi, and Carter? As the dust settles from Hope's accidental fall into Finn's arms, questions remain about her true intentions. Could Steffi's jealousy and distrust be justified? And with Carter feeling dismissed by Ridge, might he be plotting a new move to regain control over his career and personal life? Today's episode laid the groundwork for seismic shifts at Forrester Creations. With relationships on the line and power dynamics shifting, fans are left on the edge of their seats, eager to see what unfolds next.